first memories, or one of the first memories that seared itself into my consciousness because of being what I perceived as a threat as a child, was watching Donald Trump kill a litter of puppies. He did it in a variety of ways. As I stood there, they made me stand there, and he would harm or kill the puppy and then look to see what my reaction was.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome to some of possibly the most appalling news of our recent lives. Today, we're going to be addressing the case of Sascha Riley, also known as Sascha Riley Barros, as it pertains to our current president, convicted felon Donald Trump, and his relationship to the late Jeffrey Epstein. Before we get into this extremely enlightening account, a warning. Now, let's get into it. In November of 2025, last year, a previously publicly unheard account of just a portion of the horrors endured by the victims of the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking and abuse ring was silently released in the form of a 6-part interview released on Substack by a journalist going by the name of Lisa Noel Volding, a Canadian who Riley said he made his choice to contact based on her not being a corporate or American journalist who would likely never risk their professional future to be the first to break a story like this. In these recorded interviews, Sascha recounts parties where he was forced to attend, and between the ages of 9 or 10 to 13, he served as entertainment for rich men to both abuse and degrade, sexually and violently. Among the prominent individuals noted in his account are obviously Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, as well as notable names such as Andy Biggs, Jim Jordan, Clarence Thomas, a Supreme Court justice, and his own adoptive quote-unquote father, William K. Riley. The account of the abuse he endured is absolutely harrowing, and also, coincidentally or not, eerily similar to many of the stories which have come out to date in light of the public revelations regarding Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell, and their connections. Let's start with the head of this metaphorical hydra, Donald Trump himself.
And I think I was around him more than just those 3 times, but only 3 times do I kind of remember. I can remember at one point him asking the people that were kind of running that party or whatever it was at that farm, he wanted to kill somebody. He wanted to murder somebody. And they said, hey, that's not this kind of party. You can't do that. And they said, in lieu of doing that, they said, well, we've got some puppies. If you just want to kill something, we've got to get rid of them anyway. So I can remember him taking those puppies one by one, and like he snapped one of the puppies' necks, he cut one open and let it just howl and writhe in pain while it died, held one under some water to kill it. He wanted to kill those puppies in whatever gruesome way, to experience, I guess, seeing them suffer in different ways. What his kink is, I guess if you want to call it that, is watching people suffer. He likes to destroy people physically, mentally, during the process of the assault. That's why he stands out so much in my memory. And it's physical pain, and then it's also, degrading and all of that. But his thing was to just try to destroy human beings to the utmost that he could possibly do it.
As you just heard, as well as in the beginning of this video, one of the most outstandingly depraved scenarios recalled by Barros is when Trump forces him to watch, as in glee, the now president thinks of novel ways to torture innocent puppies, as he gets a rise out of the horror, shock, and trauma that a 10-year-old Sascha receives from being forced to watch. The next notable encounter Sascha has with Trump is likely the reason behind the stories of diaper wearing and incontinence that Trump has been attempting to cover up since probably the 1980s. Sascha reports, while being sexually assaulted by Trump asked Barnes, still a boy at the time, to insert himself into Trump. Then he laid on his stomach and wait. Thinking on his feet and burning with rage for this man who had committed such demonic acts both in front of and to him, he took a tent spike, which was lying in the barn, inserted it into Trump's rectum, and kicked as hard as he could, trying to kill him. This was the result.
Yes. So, at one point, I kind of acquiesced to whatever sexual things that he wanted to do, but at some point, he wanted me to have sex with him. So he laid down on his stomach, and there was a wooden tent stake that was in the room, and I had been eyeballing it as a weapon. And what I did was put the condom on the wooden tent stake, put it inside of him, and I kicked it as hard as I could. And that's why he had to get life flighted out, because I ripped him open.
There's a lot of gossip, discussion about Donald Trump's being incontinent since several years ago. I remember some folks that worked on the television series The Apprentice, they said Donald Trump had to wear diapers. And that...
I would bet. It's because I ripped him open.
That's what my sense is that some of the gossip has been, Trump had used Adderall, Trump was incontinent because of drug use. But I'm wondering, and I do know that the truth, if that's actually the reason Trump wears diapers is a significant part. Do you remember? I mean, can you describe what the injuries look like? Do you remember enough to describe?
I remember the scream that he let out when I kicked him. And I remember backing away, and it was, I can't remember exactly what it looked like, but it wasn't just that he was hurt. He started, while he was screaming, like his entire body was in almost like a horseshoe, where he was just vibrating or convulsing while he was just screaming at I remember his reaction being so loud that it scared me, and I kind of backed away. But what the injury itself looked like, I can't really describe that, because in my mind, I thought that he was going to die after. Mm-hmm. So I got as far away as I could, like in the corner. And as he's just the scream that he let out, I can remember that. Yeah, just like a banshee. And then those people came in there, obviously knowing something was up. They pointed a gun at me. Anyway, they didn't beat me. They didn't do anything like that. They just scooped him up, got him out of there, and then they tried to figure out what had happened. And I know at one point I was just there with like a couple of guys holding a gun on me, and there was some discussion. My dad was brought in, and they just let us go for that day. Nobody harmed us that day because they didn't really know how they were going to handle it. They didn't know if Trump was going to die. He was fucked up.
This disgusting and depraved act, which led to his much-deserved injury, would have surely left a lifelong impact on Trump, and definitely lends credence to the reports that he is incontinent and has to constantly be wearing diapers. Finally, for this video, which focuses primarily on the revelations regarding Donald Trump, because of the extreme relevance of disseminating this info at the current moment, with the international and domestic tensions running so unprecedentedly high, is Sascha's recollection of the beatings which he suffered as retribution for his act of rebellion against his repeated abuser, convicted felon Donald Trump, most notably and brutally at the hands of Arizona Congressional Representative Andy Biggs.
Assaulted by Andy Biggs. I also got assaulted by like an entire party's worth of people. So they took...
After Trump was airlifted out?
Yeah, a whole nother party. So they took me to another party after that, and because I had done that to one of those rich people, they took me from like station to station, and they could do whatever they wanted. Most of them just beat on me. I can remember me standing there and already gotten beaten up, I don't know, 5-6 times, and I can remember somebody urinated on me, and I said, "Thank you for not hurting me," and he just hauled off and punched me in the side of the head and knocked me out. I can remember leaving that party, and my dad was just kind of dragging me out of there. It was another instance, just like with Andy Biggs, where I got beaten to the point where, the room was spinning. I was nauseous, probably throwing up, maybe some broken bones, badly.
And how many perpetrators did you say again? 20 to 40, 25 to 40 perpetrators?
People that were there, yes. I would say probably 8 or 10 that just beat the absolute hell out of me. And some of them probably sexually assaulted me, but I can't remember. I can remember getting hurt, just getting beaten up and,
Was that before you tried to defend yourself from Trump or after? Do you remember?
That was after. That was as a punishment, if you want to call it that. What happened at that party was part of the punishment, and then I can remember them saying that this is the last of it when I had to go see Andy Biggs. Andy Biggs almost fucking killed me. So I remember him to this day.
So when Andy Biggs almost killed you was after Trump as well?
Yes.
Okay.
After Andy Biggs was after Trump. The party that a whole bunch of people assaulted me was after that.
The severity of the brutality ravaged on Sascha as such a young boy can truly not be understated. In conclusion, due to a complete lack of coverage, I created this video as an introductory step into the Sascha Riley story. If you have the stomach and the stones to listen for yourself, the link to the full report is in the video description. Please help to disseminate this story further so that we can get public recognition for these atrocious crimes which have been perpetrated by those of our society who thought themselves untouchable. Let us say in unison, you are not. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe.
Some of the other memories are just vague. I can and I have been very careful too not to reach out further, because there are some other names that I could mention that I believe were there, that I know for a fact that my parents talked about,